Hi everyone, welcome and happy Thursday. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Nairi. I'm part of the team from Plan Tracker. If you're unfamiliar with Plan Tracker, we are a national NDIS registered plan manager, and we have the great privilege of supporting self-managed and plan-managed NDIS participants, their carers and families right across Australia. Now, before I go any further and before I introduce our very special guest, I would like to respectfully acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands across Australia. Today, I'm on the beautiful Wonnarua land, and I pay my respects to all elders, past, present, and emerging. Now, this is the time of year when the school chapter comes to a close for lots of students around the country, and they're busy celebrating their achievements and they're looking forward to the next chapter in their lives. So we thought it's the perfect time to talk about school leaver employment supports. And you might have heard of it as SLES, and you'll hear Katrina and I talking about SLES really purely because it's a lot easier to say. And to help us unpack what those supports are, what they do, how you use them, and how you can access those supports through your NDIS funding, I'm absolutely delighted to welcome my wonderful colleague from Breakthrough, Katrina Hammond. Katrina is the practice lead for school leaver employment supports at Breakthrough. So welcome, Katrina, and thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you, Nairi. Thank you so much for having me and for the opportunity to give you some information about our school leaver employment supports, both generally and at Breakthrough, so that customers actually have that moving forward as they're leaving school and looking for that next thing that they're doing. I'm dialing in from Darkinjung land on the New South Wales Central Coast. So I'll just get started. So
hang on, just 2 secs, Katrina, but just before I hand it over to you and you take us through your wonderful presentation, we'd really encourage you at home to participate. So if you've got any questions, please pop them in the chat box. We will get to those at the end of the presentation. And you'll also hear Katrina referencing some links and some web pages. They'll also pop into the chat box so you can have a look at those later. All righty, Katrina, it's all yours now.
Jumping the gun. There we go.
Way you go.
So just a little bit of information about Breakthrough and who we are. We're actually a registered NDIS provider, and we've got over 25 years experience in community services and disabilities. We are in over 23 locations in Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria. So we're on that eastern seaboard. And we work in the space of mental health, employment, disability, homelessness and training. We're now part of very excited to be part of the larger Royal Rehab Group. They joined with us in November 2021, and that brings us up to a workforce of about 1,300. So this slide just shows the larger organisation that we're part of. But I'm here today to talk about school leaver employment supports. So school leaver employment supports is funded under the NDIS, and it provides young people transitioning from high school with the support and guidance they need to build that capacity to find a suitable job and help them work out what that suitable job is. It's available in the final years of high school, or directly after leaving high school. So when I say that, it's when people are ready to transition, but we're fortunate now the NDIS does offer it to ensure that smooth transition straight after school, and for up to 2 years. Probably one of the best ways to actually to share with you what school leaver support is to show you a video of one of our customers. Oh, so fantastic. We're hoping that IT is going to be good to us today, and I'll pop on a video from Ethan.
Hi, I'm Ethan Russell. I'm 21 years old. I joined Breakthrough 3 years ago to achieve my goals with the SLES program, and
Marie, is that tracking okay? Can you hear okay?
It looks okay to me.
Yeah, I'll also get you to pop the link in the chat, and then people can follow along by themselves as well.
To do one-on-one and group activities. My disability is cerebellar hyplasia, and the doctor said I might not be able to walk or climb a ladder, and that's when I had the physiotherapist at school to help me all through my school life. For me, my most challenging thing was build up enough strength to walk. And so we worked hard at it, and I go to the gym. The gym helps me to stabilize me. Now I don't need my crutches or my walking frame anymore. And in November 2018, I got work experience here at OneBlink. Then it transformed into a job.
We basically build software. We build cloud-based software that other organisations use in their business operations. I've known Ethan now for a little over 12 months, and the original introduction was based around just doing some simple work experience. So giving Ethan some work experience so that he could start to use some of the skills and knowledge that he was acquiring through his TAFE course, and basically get him into a company work environment. That went very, very well. We made him an offer to be able to still continue with his studies, but come in and do 8 hours a week with us, moving from that work experience into that paid employment model.
At OneBlink I do testing with Mark, and Blake gets me to do website design. I get to work with a lot of technologies, new technologies that I didn't have the exposure to 2 years ago. The team at OneBlink is very helpful. When you have questions, they can answer it.
We actually don't regard Ethan as having a disability. He's just one of our employees, and he's doing part-time work.
I checked my driver's license. That way I can drive myself to TAFE. OneBlink and Breakthrough, the component that most helped me get work is having work experience and working on my resume to get my work experience, and finally landed a job at OneBlink. Throughout my journey at Breakthrough and OneBlink, I have found more independence and confidence to go out in the community and to achieve my goals.
So that's a little bit from Ethan in relation to school leavers employment support from our customers.
Biggest change in Jack since he started working as his confidence.
1 second, I just have
is
something
just
happening
awesome.
with
I'll
the
come
video.
home and he'll just tell me I had work.
So a little bit from Ethan about his journey in school leavers employment support. The next slide actually talks about what kinds of things. So what SLES is about giving you the skills and the confidence to help you move from school to employment. And it's really about the individual. We work with individuals to work out what they need to take that next step. It can be travel training, time management, money handling. Definitely work experience is helpful in open employment, learning about taking instructions in the workplace. So the aim being to cross this bridge from school to getting a job. Helping you to pursue your goals. So we know that transitioning from school is extremely exciting, but can be really daunting at the same time. And we're here to help you at Breakthrough, the school leavers employment support around giving you the skills and knowledge to pursue your goals. And that could be finding long-term paid employment, volunteering, further education, and a pathway to that.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So these are some pictures of what we do. We explore jobs. We have guest speakers around different industries and what it might look like to work there and what it might entail to work there, what training you might need. It can be work experience. You can see Jack here doing work experience as a barista. It also includes teamwork, problem solving, social skills, and we work with our groups for people who want to come to our group pathways, and they decide how we're going to do that. And we do a lot of work in the community with local industries and learning what our groups actually need in a fun way. So how do you get SLES funding in your NDIS plan? To be eligible for SLES, you need to be in the final years of school, have an NDIS plan. Your plan needs to have a goal to gain employment, and you need to provide some supporting documentation. So that might be something like a functional capacity assessment from an OT or support letters from your healthcare professionals. Your school can assist as well with an individual transition plan, and we can help you with that as well. We're pretty experienced in helping guide you as to what you would need, what evidence you'd need to provide for that to go into your plan. In terms of how supports are structured, that's really individualised. It can be a mix of group-based and individual activities tailored to what you need. It can be face-to-face, it can be group-based, it can be flexible, experiential learning, it can be virtual, it can be on the job, and we're actually doing a regional and remote option as well. I didn't mention it on the first slide, and I should have. We have existing group cohorts in our offices down the eastern seaboard. So it goes from Cairns to Townsville, Fort Valley in Brisbane, Port Macquarie, Taree, Foster, Wallsend, Newcastle, Central Coast, Hornsby, Parramatta, Penrith, Bankstown, Campbelltown, Campsie, Maroubra, and then down in Victoria we have Melbourne and Broadmeadows in Melbourne City, and Dubbo and Coonabarabran out west. And then we're offering a new regional remote option for people that might not be able to access those areas or might be in a remote area.
Oh, terrific.
Yeah, thank you. We actually work with each individual about setting their goals. And this is a little slide about how we monitor that. So every week we meet with our customers, we track the progress that we do across their supports, and we create a work plan together. We also obviously celebrate what's going well, and we encourage, because we know with goal setting, if we update important people who are important to us, we're more likely to achieve our goals. So we encourage you to update your chosen support people. I've already mentioned we spend time finding out more about industries and education, and that's really to actually help people to find that pathway, because often it's about discovering what's going to suit your skills and interests. But our staff have a lot of experience in job matching and role customization as well. We did have Paige coming along to speak. She's one of our customer service managers from many of our Sydney sites, Maroubra, Hornsby, Bankstown and Campsie. We've actually not been able to get her on the line, but I know what she wanted to do was talk a little bit about one of our Sydney sites this week have been doing a first aid certificate, because that's they identified quite a few people in that cohort wanted to do that. And they're also celebrating International Person with a Disability Day and planning that together. So that becomes part of the SLES supports. And I know she also wanted to invite anyone on the live to come along to our sites for a tour. We do those throughout the year. So the next slide's actually going to outline that, which is an invitation to register for a meet and greet in your local area or to find out more. You can simply do that by phoning the 1-800 number, which is 1-800-767-212, or emailing hello@breakthrough.org.au. We also have a feedback link, and within that you could request a tour or to find out more information as well. So I'm hoping we might be posting that in the Facebook Live links. Feel free to fill that out.
How long does the tour take, Katrina?
Oh, look, we'd usually book it in with you maybe about an hour. But you know, sometimes we have customers come along and they'd like to, so we say a meet and greet in your local area, but sometimes people need a little bit more time. So based on how that tour goes, we'd then maybe book people in to try a session if they want to settle in. It's all about making sure people are comfortable and comfortable with the workers that they're going to be working with and their supports and in the environment. So yeah, initially half an hour to an hour. And then we go from there. Our staff are wonderful. I know that you would really like, you know, I know every time people come in, it gives them a chance to meet like the local staff and see the cohort that they would be attending supports with as well. So usually our customers become, you know, as part of that group, they form social connections as well and make friends. So
fantastic. And are those individual tours, Katrina, or are those tours in a group?
So we do both, but obviously for people on the line, if you want to reach out, we do an individual one. For example, in our Tuggerah office today, there's a group coming from a school. Okay. So if we've got anyone on the line that does have more than one person they want to bring, we can organise that as well. But usually it's an individual tour because it's at a time to suit the person contacting us.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that's outlined school leavers employment support a little bit for you. I wonder if there's any questions in the chat or anything that
we do have a couple of questions, so I'll just get you to stop sharing that wonderful presentation. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
So the first question, they wanted just some clarification around what is the difference between SLES and DES?
Okay, that's one that comes up a lot, so thank you for asking. So school leavers employment support is basically available for school leavers that are eligible for the NDIS, and it's really more targeted supports to become job ready. Disability employment supports, or DES, is a Australian government or Centrelink funded service, and it's to help people maintain a job and support them in the workplace and overcome any barriers. I suppose the general differentiation for a young person is if they're going to go straight to DES, they would need to be able to work 8 hours fairly independently or have completed SLES first. So usually SLES, where eligible, comes before DES. Disability Employment Service is considered a mainstream service. And sometimes our aim with school leavers employment supports is to gain a job or to be able to go to DES and be supported by them.
Okay, terrific. Thank you. How does, sorry, Katrina, I'll just read this question. How does SLES align with Centrelink, i.e. wage support for employer?
So what happens when a young person's looking at, like, might be on work experience and there's a job ready, maybe like the employer's about to offer a job, we would then refer to Disability Employment Service because they hold the subsidies in terms of did you call it wage support? So we would work with those services. So that's how we align. So, but not only that, we work with other services that are available. So it might mean workplace adjustments. We'd work with the with that service as well, or any other service, training. So we'd work with the RTOs or TAFEs across the country as well. Yeah.
Okay, terrific. Thank you. Can I receive SLES supports whilst I'm still at school?
You can. So we usually work with schools. It's usually at that transition point, like you're wanting to leave school. But in that last part of school, it's quite important we work with schools. And it's a big change, actually, the NDIS has made over the last couple of years. Previously, we used to just help people transition. We'd get them to come along and try and whatever. Now, the schools often will sign students out maybe for a day a week when they're ready to transition, but we work with the school on that. So it's an individual thing, but absolutely not blanket for years of school, but as people are transitioning. Yeah.
Okay, terrific. And the last one, unless another one pops in, is how do you track progress?
How do we track progress at Breakthrough? We meet with our customers or SLES participants weekly. Everybody, even if there's different pathways that I mentioned, group or individual or a mix, most people do a mix, to be honest. But even if our customers have chosen a group pathway, they do an hour of individual support every single week. And during that meeting, we actually we do like a progress review. We look at the fact that if the supports that you're booked into are working, and we celebrate those wins as well. So we have a look with you each week about how you're tracking and where that progress is moving and if those goals have been achieved.
All right, terrific. Thank you. Now, I just noticed because Telstra cut me off midway through, so I jumped back in. And so if you're watching this recording later on, no, I'm not Katie Barry. I haven't become Katie Barry in the last 20 minutes. I just, I got bumped out of the meeting, so I jumped back in as Katie. So I'm still Nairi. So there aren't any other questions, Katrina, at this point. But what I will say is if you are watching this a little bit later on, please feel free to drop questions in the chat box. We will be checking. We will absolutely see any new questions that come in, and we will come back to you with an answer to those. Just before we leave, and I'll just get any final words from you, Katrina, I just want to remind everyone that tomorrow we're hosting a free webinar with our friends from Magnus Health and Journey Support Services. This is around supported independent living. Now you can register for that event. The link will be also on our Facebook page. The webinar starts at 10 a.m. if you're in non-daylight savings time. If you're like me and you're in Sydney, it will start at 11 a.m. If you can't attend in person, it will be recorded. So please jump on and register. It'll be a great event. So Katrina, any last words from you?
Oh, look, just thank you for the opportunity, Nari. So pleased to be here. If I can help with any questions, please just reach out and we can get those answered for you. I suppose one thing I didn't mention was just in relation, because I know you're national, so I wanted to let you know we do have our regional and remote option, and also obviously there's other SLES providers in areas like Western Australia, for example. So just know that set of supports is available to you, and really good luck on your journey, and please let us know if we can assist with anything. And again, thank you, Marie, for the opportunity to speak today.
Oh, thanks so much for your time, Katrina, and thanks to everyone at home who's joined us. We hope you have a wonderful Thursday. Stay safe and stay well.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.